Well, so I'm somewhat popular, so let's do a game review, shall we? What can be said about the series that always had awesome games? From the past to now, Pokemon continues to be a time-honored classic series. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about a bootleg Pokemon game. Recently, as in a month ago, the great almighty Jontron graced his YouTube presence with a whole episode on bootleg Pokemon games, and I decided to get one of the games he missed, or decided wasn't good enough to make the cut, because it's not, Pokémon Perla. At first you might think that I'm referencing the Spanish version of Pokémon Pearl.
Pokémon Diamante y Perla.
Or I just had a seizure, but not this time. I picked up this bootleg game at my retro gaming store out of interest. And I also want to say that I paid $15 for this thing because they thought it was an actual Pokemon game. The lady literally did not know that the misspelling was an actual bootleg game. She thought it was real. Not much is known about Pokemon Perla except everything. It started out as a ROM hack online, which I wasn't able to download to compare it to the bootleg version because Mac. I had high hopes for this game, but bootleg games are a gamble. Some can either be really innovative and great, and others, well, we have Yuri of Wind for that. But let's get started, shall we? Anyway, we start off watching the game's intro, and the Game Freak logo's missing. Maybe they got freaked out with this game. Bad jokes aside, all the Pokemon in the intro are missing, and the trainer throws out, "What?" I'm sorry, but you know a bootleg is good when you see these as the first original, and I use that term lightly, Pokemon on the screen. One's a creepy Pokemon hybrid and the other one's a Volcano Goomba? And then they both turn back into Mudkip and Torchic into the intro? Whatever. Then we finally get into the intro screen. By the way, the intro screen has large bubbles on it because of course it does. And the game feels the need to tell you the save file is okay. As in, don't worry, all your hard work and the time spent in the game is still here. And by the way, I've seen another review on the internet, which I wouldn't call it a review, it's basically a blind run that someone masqueraded as a review, and the person's game file corrupted during a save. So yeah, the save file is okay, is actually a thing we need. And now, adventure will begin. So before we start our own adventure, why don't we look at the adventure of the person who traded in this game and got way more money than he should have gotten did. Well, he caught 4 Pokemon, his name was Ron, obtained 0 badges, and played for 46 minutes. We're in for a good game, alright. So let's start our Pokemon adventure. And the professor is now the shopkeeper? Okay. But his name's still Birch, so they didn't even bother to change it. And we get to choose a boy or a girl. And the boy is Ron Weasley, so I can see why the last guy picked Ron as his name. And the girl's a Team Rocket May hybrid? Okay. And you can choose the name Perla, Terry, Seth, and Tom for the boy. Other names aside, you can actually choose the name Perla? Like a guy's name? Anyway, I chose my name and got sent off to the mystical town of Littleroot. So I'm taken there in a trunk that, mind you, has soil and forest trees growing in it, like actual soil planted in the truck and growing in it, and it disappears when I hopped out of it. A great game! And my mom greets me and takes me into the house like normal, where she says that the movers' Pokemon do all the work. Mom? Those are people. You know what, I'm gonna go apologize to the movers and... Wait, what? So these people believe they're Pokemon. Okay, well, you've heard of the game theory where it says people are Pokemon, but this proves it's true. The other guy even skates on the floor without moving his feet because he's possessed by the Pokemon gods. You've heard many Pokemon theories before, but now it's time to stumble onto the Perla theory. Anyway, we walk upstairs to set the clock, and while walking around, we walk right through the chairs and just glitch through the bed. We walk outside, and the town's now labeled to New Town. Mom, Professor, why did you lie to me? Anyway, there's now tall grasses in the town before you get a Pokemon, and they don't do anything. Okay. And by the way, the sign that I'm assuming is supposed to be the Professor Birch's lab isn't readable. As in, there's no text prompt. At all. And by the way, the girl's name is still May, unchanged. And Professor Birch decides to get cornered by a Zigzagoon again, and now it's time to choose one of the 3 starters to get this whole game started. And the 3 starters are, what? Marshtomp, Swampert, and Mightyena? And yeah, I probably pronounced that wrong, but I don't really care. Let's not even go over the fact that you're given the choice of Marshtomp or Swampert, in which no one would pick Marshtomp, but they give you Mighty Yena? Mighty Yena. Really? Anyway, the Swampert, as all starters are level 5. By the way, the lowest level you can get a Swampert at is level 36. And after the first easy battle, we face a Chizoom? What is this thing? Your guess is as good as mine. And there's a sign that says Oldale Town is to the north, but by going north, you see Rock Town. Really? Rock Town? Where people actually live on the side of rocks? People live and burrowed in places where there's no air getting in? Alright, yeah. But don't worry, the houses look completely normal because of course they do. Anyway, this woman tells me that the Pokemart is now open, and now we get to some glitches. Excuse me, more glitches. The grasslands apparently grow on the rocks now, and no, not moss, grasslands, and the door to the Pokemart in the Pokemon Center glitch open. Moving on, I go north, you know, past the stairs in the rock formation and the glitchy waterfall, and meet up with May. She's staring out into the sky, contemplating life and the meaning of it. Why we're all here, and what does it mean? Oh, no, she was just thinking about the Pokemon to find on Route 103. And then we fight like normal, but she sends out that. Uzakara, the green gecko reject with a snail shell? And since Water Gun isn't effective, I'm just guessing it's a reskin of Trico. So if you thought you didn't like Trico before, guess again. So after beating the heck out of May, she says it's time to go back to the lab and jumps off the cliff like it's nothing. I want to do that, but of course I can't. And then after catching up to her, she tells me to hurry up and just walks right through trees. Okay, Sprite Hack's next. I think it was a cool thing you had May jump over a cliff, but come on. You didn't even try with this sequence. You just let her run right through trees. Also, I ran into a level 5 Butterfree, which the lowest level is 10. And I meet up with the professor and whatnot and see my mom who says, "You're your father's child, alright?" I better be. And I know it was in the original, but come on. And she gives me the running shoes, and now I realize that the biggest glitch in the game is the running graphics. They didn't even try with these. All they are is just a recolor of the original sprites, and you see them the most when you run left and right. And I run right through a tree trying to show this off, but only the top of the tree is solid, as in, it stays on the top layer there. So I go back north and find a patch of tall grass that's rock hard like the town next to it. But the left one isn't because bootleg. And I go and find a level 5 Charizard. No, look at it. A level 5 Charizard. By the way, it took up to 4 Pokeballs to catch it, and you have to mash the B button to catch it, not the A button, the B button to catch it. And thank you, Bootleg, for forgetting to put in the click animation so I don't know when I caught something. Then in the same patch of grass, I fight a Weedle. You know, nice variation there. By the way, the Charizard no scratch in Ember. I caught a Seedot because Seedot's awesome, and then I decided to catch a Chizoom. And by the way, it's just a reskin of Zigzagoon. I'm not kidding, the Pokedex even says Zigzagoon. They didn't even try to hide it. They didn't even try. So I go left to the city of Peterburg like normal, and everybody's talking about Norman like normal. And the side and door to the gym is glitched like normal. Oh wait, no, it's not, because it makes the game incomplete and impassable. So I decided to go through the girl's story to see if the same thing happened, and the names you get to choose from is Tara, Kimmy, why didn't you just stay in Rugrats, Nicola, and Sarah. I named myself Misty, and the same things happened in the girl's story, only the mentally disordered Pokemon people are Machokes. I also chose Mighty Yena because there's something wrong with me, and my rival, Brendan, not Perla, which it should have been because that was the first choice for boys in the boy story, chose Volcac. It was a load of Volcac, and there's the same running sprite glitch and the same game-ending glitch that stops your progress. I didn't do it again with Marshtomp to see this little abomination because I didn't care to. But all in all, Pokemon Perla was, if this wasn't obvious enough, not worth this 15 bucks I spent on it, and really sets the bar low when we talk about bootleg Pokemon games. But like, comment, and subscribe to check out some of my other videos. Now, where's that Volcac in my cyanide? Okay, so what do you guys want to do? SNES! Oh god, SNES was like the worst Mario Kart.
It's the first Mario Kart.
I know, but it's still the worst.
Do not do Toad Turnpike.
Okay, let's do...
Yeah,
We're gonna do this one first.
You son of a mother.